Hi, I am Michael, and I am a registered dietitian who works in oncology. I want to start with the honest headline, the one that matters most, before we get into anything else. Cancer is not a parasite. You almost certainly do not have hidden parasites living inside you, and the cleanse products being sold to fight both of those imaginary problems can genuinely hurt you, especially if you are in treatment right now. I know that is blunt. I would rather be blunt and useful than gentle and vague, because people are spending money and risking their health on this idea, and I talk to some of them every single week. So let me explain what is actually happening. Over the past couple of years, there has been a huge boom in what people call parasite cleanses. It lives mostly on TikTok and short video platforms, and it usually looks the same. Someone tells you that almost everyone is secretly full of parasites, that these parasites cause fatigue, bloating, brain fog, and even cancer, and that the medical world is hiding this from you. Then they sell you a protocol. The classic three are wormwood, black walnut hull, and clove, often packaged together and taken for weeks at a time. Then comes the part that really drives the trend. People take these products, and a day or two later they post photos of long, ropey strings in the toilet and say, "Look, I passed the parasites." I understand why that is convincing. It looks alarming, and it feels like proof. But here is what is really going on. Those strings are almost always mucus, intestinal lining, and undigested plant fiber that the cleanse itself irritated loose. Your gut makes mucus every day. When you flood it with harsh botanicals and fiber and a laxative effect, it sheds that mucus in long shapes. You are looking at a reaction to the cleanse, not a creature you evicted. This same story is the soil that the dewormer drug craze grows in. Once you believe cancer is a parasite, it starts to feel logical to reach for an animal deworming drug or a human antiparasitic and hope it cures your tumor. The parasite narrative is the setup, the dewormer is the punchline, and it all rests on a claim that is simply not true. So let me give you the honest science, because I think the truth is more interesting than the myth. Cancer is not an invader. Cancer is your own cells. It starts when the DNA inside your normal cells gets damaged in specific ways, and those cells stop obeying the rules that tell them when to grow, when to stop, and when to die. They keep dividing when they should not. That is the whole tragedy of it. It is not something that crawled in from outside. It is you, your own tissue, gone off script. You cannot deworm a tumor any more than you can deworm a sunburn because there is no worm. Now I want to be fair, because there is a grain of real biology buried in this, and that grain is exactly why the myth sounds believable. A small number of real parasites truly can lead to specific cancers in specific parts of the world. There is a parasitic infection called schistosomiasis that is linked to bladder cancer in regions where that parasite is common. There are liver flukes that are linked to cancer of the bile duct in parts of Asia. These are real, documented connections. But notice what they are not. They are not the vague, everyone has parasites claim. They are specific organisms in specific places, found with real laboratory tests and treated with real antiparasitic medicine prescribed by doctors. The existence of a few genuine cases is being stretched into a universal story it was never meant to carry. Now the cautions, because this is where I get worried as a clinician. Wormwood contains a compound called thujone, and in high or prolonged doses, thujone is toxic to the nervous system and has been associated with seizures. That is not a gentle detox tea. Black walnut and clove protocols can be hard on your gut and your liver. On top of that, we do not have good data on how these botanicals interact with chemotherapy and other cancer drugs. Some plant compounds can change how your body processes medication, which means your treatment could become weaker or more toxic without anyone knowing why. Add the very common dehydration, cramping, and gut irritation these cleanses cause, and you have a person going through cancer treatment who is now weaker, more nauseated, and more likely to miss or delay a real appointment. That last part, the delay of real care, is the one that keeps me up at night. Every week spent chasing an imaginary parasite is a week not spent on a treatment that actually works. So let me end somewhere useful, because I never want to just tear something down. What should you do if you genuinely think you might have a parasite? Maybe you traveled somewhere with contaminated water. Maybe you have real ongoing symptoms like persistent diarrhea or unexplained weight loss. That is a completely reasonable thing to check, so check it the real way. Go to your doctor and ask for a stool test, an actual laboratory diagnosis. If they find something, they will treat it with medicine that is proven to work on that exact organism. And here is the quiet punchline. A real diagnostic test usually costs less than one of these cleanse kits, and it gives you an answer instead of a story. So here is my bottom line. Cancer is your own cells with damaged DNA, not a parasite. You almost certainly are not full of worms. The strings in the toilet are the cleanse, not the cure. And if you truly suspect an infection, ask for a test, not a protocol. Take good care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.